happiness, right? And I love your point about, are they doing that?
All right, so hello ladies, welcome. So right now, for some reason, I don't know why, I'm having a bit of an issue with the slides. So I'm just gonna keep, I'm gonna do the presentation like this, just talking. So hopefully that's okay with you. I have no idea what's going on. I've tried it several times. It was working before, but it doesn't seem to be working now. So it's all good. So welcome. I'm really excited to be with you here today. And I'm really happy that you're here for this training, for this presentation and how to use the law of attraction effectively in your life to attract your man. And it's great. So, okay, perfect. Let's see. All right. So perfect. So I see, and I know some of the women that are here today, which makes me really excited. And I would love it if you could share where you're from, because that would be great. Like there's a chat button, like to depending on whether you're using a computer or a cell phone, there's a chat option where you can share where you are, because I'd love to hear from you. And with that, we will start. So my name is Nicole Elissa Williams, and I am a transformational love coach for women who desire to feel irresistible in their own skin and attract their man. And, before I start, today while I was at the bank, I was having a conversation with the security guy, and he was asking me, what is it that I do and everything. And he said it so brilliant, it was just brilliant how he described that. He finds it great that, anybody would give themselves the opportunity to really feel empowered to choose who they date, to choose who they attract in their life. So it's not just about attraction. I want this training for you to feel empowered, knowing that you have the option to choose and attract the type of man that you want in your life. And that is really big, because with coaching, there comes a lot of power. With all the information that you're getting online, with the training that you're getting today, there comes a lot of power in knowing that you have the power to attract the man in your life by simply choosing so. And there's a lot of power in that. So like I said, my name is Nicole Elissa Williams. I'm a transformational love coach, and I'm here to help you today on how to use the law of attraction effectively. So I'd love to hear from you. What are you desiring to get the most of this training? Since, we don't have the slides and everything, I want to hear from you. If you can share in the chat, what are you curious about the law of attraction? How can you use it in regards to meeting your man? What's currently going on for you? If you can share in the chat, you would get a lot of value in connecting and sharing with me, because I'll be able to help you during the training to really manifest him quicker or sooner. So for those of you who don't know me, and for those of you who are watching the replay, basically, my story goes like this. I was not desired by men at all. In fact, I used to be considered one of the guys. Men would always think about me as either one of the guys or their therapist. They would come to me with all of the issues that they had around with other women, but they would never really consider me. And that used to really it would make me feel really sad. And I would question myself, it's why is it that I am attracting this in men? It wasn't that I was behaving in ways that I thought were repelling, but for some reason men really wouldn't see me that way. And something in me shifted the moment that I realized that I had all of the power to turn that around. And it really had to do with the way that I saw myself. It had to do with the beliefs that I had about myself. It had to do with the beliefs that I had about men. And when I made that bold choice to change things around, that's when it all started to click for me. And I immediately started seeing a sea of men really starting to pursue me, notice me in a different light. All the different men that used to see me as one of the guys or something like that, basically they just turn it over, they changed the script, and they were trying to court me. They were like doing all these different things. So I just want you to know that you have all the power, just like I did. I wish I had the slides with me, because there's some pictures where you can really see, like in me, that there's been an incredible shift, and it all happened internally. And the choice of ways in which I speak to myself, in the way that I see or I operate or I observe life, the way that I perceive and I experience and I receive life, that is really key in this process of total transformation. And it has 100% to do with the law of attraction and how to use it effectively to attract your partner. So for those of you that are joining now, I was sharing that I would love to hear from you. Like, if you have any questions, like, first of all, where are you from? Like, I'd love to know your name. If you have any questions of the law of attraction, and I'll be sharing with you and I'll be helping you during this entire training to really help you manifest and attract your man sooner. So if you can share in the chat box, that would be awesome, because I love for this to be like interactive. I don't want to feel like I'm talking alone. And if you're on the phone, feel free to unmute yourself and share, because I'd love to hear from you. So yes, as I await like for any comments or questions that you might have, I really wanted to share that with you. Like, my journey, like, I remember feeling insecure about myself, insecure about my looks, insecure about my hair, insecure like about many different things, because I was agreeing with those beliefs, and I was agreeing with a lot of things that I shouldn't have agreed in the first place, that were creating my reality for me without me even knowing it. I was just accepting it as reality. Hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes we feel that life is just what is, like life is what we're seeing, but there's a bigger law that's really orchestrating everything, and that has to do with the law of attraction. Like, whatever we focus on expands, whatever we notice, whatever we observe, whatever we take in, whatever we resist, we create. So I want to help you use the law of attraction effectively so that you can attract your man in a way that feels empowering for you, and it's a lot like easier. So how many of you are familiar with the law of attraction? Like, for those that are here online, like, is it a familiar topic for you? What have you heard so far about the law of attraction? Are you capable of texting, like, or writing in the chat box, or talking? Please let me know. Okay, I'm a little bit confused. Let's see here. Are you able to talk?
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Perfect. Who is this?
This is Janet.
Janice?
Yes.
Hi, Janice. Thank you. So what,
Hi,
Janice?
I got a call late.
No, that's totally fine. So how have you tried to use the law of attraction in meeting men so far?
So far, not very good at it. I mean, I look back on my life, and I attracted my ex-husband in. I wanted something that was so attractive, and that's all I was looking for, and that's all I got. But now I know to go deeper into really what I want, and I just don't seem to be attracting him in.
All right, okay. So what do you know about the law of attraction so far?
What you think is what you get out of life. If it's good or bad, either way, it's what you get out of life.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So let's see here. I see that Charlene is saying, I understand law of attraction to be that you are in alignment with how loved you are and attract love in whatever area you desire, whether that's an amazing man or money, etc. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Awesome, ladies. So with that, we can share. We can start. Basically, today I'm going to be helping you get to that space to understand the law of attraction better, because I know that a lot of us have been taught that using the law of attraction can simply be doing a dream board, or you're told like, oh, think positive thoughts, and that's about it, right? And then it might work for you in some areas, but it might not work in other areas, or even moments in life. Like you've you know how Janice said, like she was able to use it before, but now she's like, okay, why isn't it working, right? And I feel like if we can make this really specific and really clear, you would feel more empowered in knowing how it works. So the law of attraction, there are 6 things that I'm going to guide you today in regards to the law of attraction and meeting your man. So I invite you to, pull out a notebook, piece of like pen, if you have water with you, like if you have a browser open and everything, like if you could close it. Because like when you are in that energy of fully receiving something, like you will receive downloads, not just the ones that I'm giving with you right now, like, but you will receive further ones. So if we tend to be in that energy, like, let me do a little bit here, let me do a little bit over there. I want you to see how that can impact how much you receive. And the feminine is all about receiving, right? Receiving love. So like really create the space for you right now where you fully allow yourself to receive the content that I'm going to be sharing with you today. And feel free to ask me questions. Feel free to tell me what you resonate with. Like you have a chat box here. For the moment you are muted, but you can raise your hand to talk or ask me questions, okay? So let's start. The first thing that you want to know about the law of attraction is that the law of attraction is always, always, always at work. And I'm going to share with you why this is. Basically, there's over 60,000 thoughts that we have per day, right? And out of those 60,000 thoughts per day, 42,000 are repetitive and negative. That's what we are choosing to vibrate as the world, like we let ourselves get carried away by what we see. And that's like the first mistake that we do, because what we see is, a byproduct of what we believed in the first place. So it never really starts with what we are seeing. It starts at the first level. It starts with a thought. It starts with energy, right? So it is really important for us to always check in, like, what am I thinking right now? What am I like vibrating right now? What am I feeling right now? Because whatever it is that I am feeling or thinking right now, I am in the process of creating it. And the biggest piece of advice that I've received in the last year or so is when somebody told me, one of my mentors told me, the universe is literal. Like everything, like sometimes what happens is that we are vibrating, we are thinking positive things when it comes to manifesting men, attracting somebody new in your life. But then you doubt, you see something different. It stops, like you start thinking that it's not working. And when you are in that space where you think that something is not working, or you doubt, or you kind of lose that momentum, the universe gets confused. If any of you are spiritual, right, where you have a spiritual background, whether you believe in the universe, whether you believe in God, even if you just believe in science, right? Like there's a cost for everything. So whenever we've got to learn how to have like that faith or that clear vision, and really like only allow ourselves to really visualize and see what we want. That is the first step when it comes to the law of attraction. Like you've got to really learn how to do that and not get distracted by what you're seeing or assuming that it means something about it not working or the universe not loving you or something like that. When you really take in that the universe is literal, and whatever it is that you're vibrating, feeling, or thinking, or agreeing with is the truth, like that's exactly what it will be. It's the truth. I shared this recently in a video where I was explaining that when it comes to creation, when it comes to the law of attraction, when it comes to attracting things, there are many levels of engagement that happen. We have a level of engagement with our minds. We have a level of engagement with our bodies and our feelings. We have a level of engagement like with our souls. And we can store information there, past heartaches, pain, hurt, beliefs about us not being good enough, and all these different things. And what that does is that it keeps us stuck. And the more we hold on to those beliefs, the more we attract them. And this is really, really, really key to get, because if you allow yourself to fully receive this today, you're going to see how the more you believe that, like, let's say men are cheaters, or it's not going to work for you, or you're not good enough, or you have to prove your worth, or all these different things, you create your reality. And that's why you might see somebody, you might see another woman and you say like, oh, she's so lucky, right? But she doesn't have the same beliefs that you do. Or if she's heard those beliefs before, she didn't hold on to them. She didn't like make them very real for her. Every one of us is living our own creation. So that's why it's important for us to stop agreeing with beliefs that don't resonate with you, that don't support you in attracting your man. So I'm going to use myself as an example. Back when I used to have my hair relaxed and have it with chemicals, I used to think, or I used to agree with my parents who used to tell me that men wouldn't notice me if I had natural hair. Nobody would want me. Companies wouldn't accept me. All these different things. And I started to become really inauthentic. I was worried about having long hair. I was doing all these different things. And because I felt like I needed to be accepted, right? I needed to change who I really was to be loved. Therefore, guess what? Because I agreed with it. And, I'll be honest with you. I didn't fully agree with it from the beginning. Like, I resisted it. But there was a deeper fear in me. It's like, what if my mom is right? Like, I see a lot of, like, maybe racism around me. What if she's right? But then I resisted it. I was like, no, like, that can't be. But in that space of resistance and kind of agreeing, I created it. I used to attract men that would tell me stuff about my hair, that would mock my hair. Men who wouldn't really ask me out. I would attract people in general making mean comments about my hair, classifying me and doing all these different things. And I actually started to believe it even more. But then it came to a moment where I said to myself, you know what? I feel miserable relaxing my hair. Actually felt like my scalp was on fire. And I was like, why do I need, quote unquote, need to go through all of these things to please a man, to impress a man? That's something that I agreed with, right? And I said, you know what? No more. I'm going to love myself, and I'm going to say I am lovable just as I am. And you know what? I'm going to cut off my hair. And I had all of the people in my family saying, no, you're crazy. Like, you cannot do that. Like, you are going to suffer from that. Like, they thought that they were protecting me. But the thing is, no, I decided to choose myself. And I said, as I choose myself, other people will choose me too. Men are going to start to choose me. And if those who don't care to choose me because of my hair, then I don't want them around me. And guess what? I cut off my hair completely, and immediately men started to notice me. What do you think that is? What do you think that is? Because I decided to change my reality. I really decided to change my reality. I was not okay living the reality where I felt like I had to shift, I had to morph, I had to do all these different things to please men. So there you have two main beliefs there. Like, I need to change who I am to be loved, and I need to do whatever it takes to please a man. So I shifted that, and I shifted it to an energy like, hey, men get to please me. And that's exactly what I started to attract. Right there, like, men started to ask me out, invite me to like go to like different countries with them, like buy me the tickets, like all these different things. And I'm being serious here. Like, I had spent by that time over 10 years single. Like, maybe one date, I don't remember, but like one date in 10 years, because my universe was very literal. I took it in, I resisted, and I took it in, and I did a bunch of different things. I fought it. I was fighting the quote unquote system. But all of that energy, what that does is it makes whatever it is that you're focusing on bigger. Now, I'm not saying that to notice it. Like, bear with me, because I'm going to explain to you what to do. But it's first, like, it's important for you to understand that the universe is literal. I didn't like people touching my feet. Men felt uncomfortable touching my feet. As soon as I started to love my feet, men started to feel comfortable touching my feet. And there was never an exchange of words. It's just an energy. And I want you to understand that we can all feel energy. So what happens sometimes is that we can have cross purposes. We can have hidden agendas when it comes to manifest. So you can see how a part of you may want to have a relationship, but maybe you didn't do, like, you didn't like your past relationship and you felt like you were hurt there. And there's a part of you that doesn't want a relationship. So in one end, you're vibrating, I want a relationship, but then the other end, I don't want it. Or I want it, but I can't have it, maybe because I think that I'm not, attractive enough, I'm not good enough, or whatever the case is, whatever story you're using. It's conflicting, it's creating conflict. So the universe gives you a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it keeps you in a perfect limbo. And that's what the fear-based mind or voice that we all have is trying to do. Just keep you in the limbo, kind of manifesting your man, but also not so much. So you've got to fiercely choose your standpoint. And you've got to be aware of the beliefs that you use, and that you have, and which ones you're choosing in every given moment. If you notice that you have a thought of dating, or online dating, but how am I, what are the odds? What are the chances? That's a cross purpose. That's a hidden agenda. That as soon as you notice it, you'd be like, oh, wow, the fact that I have this thought right now is actually getting in the way of meeting my man. How interesting. Because there can be a woman out there that has a belief wow, online dating is perfect. It gives me an abundance of options. It's so easy for me to meet my man in online dating. And she immediately attracts her man in a second and she gets married. But if you have the belief that, oh, people in online dating just want sex, you are going to create that. We are fully 100% responsible of the thoughts and the beliefs that we have about ourselves and about life and about men and about dating. So I hopefully this lands, the universe is literal. Your creations are literal. Everything adds to the creation of whatever you are vibrating the most. So you see how by cleaning, keeping your thoughts and your feelings clean and aligned really helps you start to attract and get the engine moving in attracting what you want. Does that resonate? If any of you could share in a chat box, or if you want to unmute yourself, or I would love to hear from you if it's resonating, because it's really huge, this piece. Literal. You don't need to agree with whatever makes you feel not good enough, or makes you feel like it's impossible, not whatever makes you feel like it's hard. All right. So as I was saying, because I see that more women joined, the slides didn't work just now, so that's why I'm you can see me. And you know what, ladies, if you want to show your face, you can do that too, because it would be a great opportunity for us to connect, and for you to allow yourself to be seen, be vulnerable, and just really receive. So, okay, that's the first step. Law of attraction is always at work, and you got to know that the universe is literal. So what does that mean? Do you think that I'm sharing with you that you can't have sad thoughts? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you got to be mindful of really what you're vibrating. So I'm gonna share with you what to do when you have those moments of doubt, and one of the few the steps that are next. So the next step that I want you to really get here is that it really starts with your vision. How wild, how big are you allowing yourself to dream, to visualize, to receive this manifestation of your man? One of the things that I've been addressing in my community with my clients lately is the fact that you can't, okay, let's see here. Let's see. Let's see here, Rochelle. I think we can see your iPhone screen. Okay. If like there's Rochelle, there's an option that says like share video. Actually, like it says start video, and it's at the lower part of the screen. That's what it says, start video. All right. So, and that's the one that you wanna choose. So, okay, it really starts, like I said, with your vision. And a topic that I've been sharing with my audience lately, with my clients a lot, is we have these belief systems where it says that it's realistic, like that it's realistic that if you're going to do online dating, or if you've been single for 10 years, or if you've like been divorced and everything, that it's going to take you a while to meet somebody because of your age, because of whatever. Like we may use that like all the time. You're like, it's not realistic for me to meet my man, like, you know, like right this second. And I find that speaking into terms like of what's realistic or not can be, it can really affect your manifestation, because as I said in the first step, the universe is literal. So the universe can help you like in a second. The universe is not defined by time. But when we define ourselves by time and by what we already know, we create more of what we know. And it's that simple. Like if we look at it in spiritual terms, it's like we've got to allow ourselves to receive a miracle, right? So I always like to see how science, you know, by quantum physics, how the law of attraction, how spirituality, they all support a main idea. You've got to believe, and you've got to forget about what like it was known in the past. Like if you've got to be bold, and that's important. So when you say that it has to be like realistic, when you're looking at odds, you know, like I'm a certain age, or it's difficult for me to men like this, or like one of the classic ones that I hear for my clients is like, Nicole, you got to understand it. Like men in Panama are this way, men in the United States are this way, men in Los Angeles are this way, men in San Francisco are this way, men in Europe are this way. You are actually making your reality more dense, like more tangible by saying these things. But it's not necessarily the truth. Once you agree with somebody, you're going to meet all of your girlfriends who are going to agree with you, because you are co-creating that reality. But you can move to a different group in the city and they're all saying, wow, I love dating here. I want you to see how this can free you. You've got to really look at your vision, and you've got to allow yourself to receive even more than what you thought was originally possible for yourself. It's about seeking what excites you, what brings you pleasure, what opens you up, because that's what makes you incredibly like magnetic when using the law of attraction and connecting with your femininity, and it just attracts. Because when you connect with your vision, you're opening up, you're forgetting about what's realistic, you're connecting with your heart. And when you're connecting with your heart and your feelings and your emotions, you start to attract more. Your feelings, your emotions have more drawing power than the thoughts. The thoughts support it, they're incredibly crucial, but the feeling is actually what opens up your heart to receive. It opens up your body to receive. I find that feminine beings, it's like we're vessels. We receive. It's not just through giving birth, but it's like we receive bigger visions, that we know how to create them and manifest them by simply connecting with the vision, by simply opening up. So if you have blocks to that vision by thinking about what's realistic, or by having fears around it, you just know that that's what you attract. Just know that's what you attract. We've got to really allow ourselves to be in that energy of like, of course it can happen. So one thing that actually happened for me was that years ago, I met Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? And I've always had like a big crush on him, like my whole family. And the thing is that I would always say, I'm going to meet The Rock in Panama and then I'm going to get arrested. That was like the end of the joke, right? Like I would always say, but like it was kind of a joke, but it was the truth. It was like honest the truth. I knew in my body that I wanted it because it felt good. Like the vision started because it felt good, because it felt delicious. It felt good, right? So I would always say it with total excitement, with total knowing that it would happen. And people would always meet me with their disbelief. They would be like, yeah, right. Like, how are you going to meet The Rock in Panama? What makes you think that he's going to be here in Panama? Why not the United States? Why not this or whatever? And I was like, no. Like, because that mission feels good to me. I want him to come to Panama. That would be great. And I believe that a year and a half later, or maybe 2 years later, I don't know, maybe a year, probably a year. I remember being like I had like food poisoning and I was feeling really bad, but my friends were hanging out and they just mentioned something like, yeah, Nicole always says that she's going to meet The Rock in Panama. They said it, and it's like all of the like feeling of like that feeling that I had to about like throwing up and everything was disappeared. And I was just like, yes, that's going to happen. And it's going to happen this and this and this way. It's like, I was not defined by what my reality was saying, what my body was saying. Is like that energy like woke me up and I shared it. And then I was just like, okay, let me just go back to like sleep and stuff. So 2 days later, which was actually like the day before my birthday, one of my friends that was there calls me up and she says, Nicole, The Rock is in Panama. And I'm like, whoa, okay. The day before my birthday, I manifested The Rock being in my country for my birthday. And I was like, okay, good. That means that I'm not going to wait for him to knock on my door. I'm going to find him. I don't know how. I'm going to find him. But I took inspired action. And I landed at a gym, of course. And he turned out to be there against all odds because nothing was sharing that he was going to be there. But I just trusted. And it happened. And he was super sweet. He sang happy birthday for me. It was amazing. One of the best birthdays of my life. And I want to share this story with you because you've got to allow yourself to like release the conversations that might be going on in the back of your mind about what can happen and what are the odds, because it's never really about the odds. It's about your vision and your desire, and that's it. Like you've got to really feel that, really feel it, and feel it from a place of fullness. What do I mean by fullness? Feeling stuff from an energy of fullness is knowing that's going to happen, knowing that you're worthy of it. Like you already feel good versus where is he going to come from? What's going on kind of way, like that energy, one energy says lack, right? Makes it a lot more difficult for you to manifest, makes you even feel like you're not good enough deep down, right? Because you're questioning a lot of things, maybe about your self-worth, about life, about everything because he's not there. But the other one is like, that would feel really good. And you know that you're worth it. So it really starts with your vision, really allowing yourself to always explore that, to always have your vision with you, because your subconscious mind and like it doesn't even know the difference between what is real and what isn't. So the more you keep telling yourself all these things as if you already have it and you express gratitude for it, it easily starts showing up in your life. Does that land? I know that we have ladies in the call, so I would love to know like if this is landing for you. If you you could unmute yourself and share with me. Like, or you can share in the chat box, like if it's resonating.
I was definitely resonating with me.
Awesome.
I get caught up on, this is Janet, I get caught up on where's he going to come from, online, or where am I going to meet him at, which I need to get beyond that apparently.
Right. And what's your name, love?
Janet.
Janet, super. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, it's like that energy of worry, like why add that to it? It's an energy of like survival. It's not happening. And it can happen anywhere. Like just gotta trust. So that's the first step that I want to share. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else?
What?
Anybody else would like to share? All right, so I'm gonna continue. Oh wait, okay, Rochelle is saying, resonates a lot, just gotta feel I will meet him perfectly, thank you. All right, so yeah, you just gotta feel into that energy, and it's more of an energy of trust and an energy of innate trust that it is already happening. So does that resonate? Like, you gotta really feel that it's already happening. You are already in the manifestation of your man. So let's continue. The first, like that, those were the first 2 steps. Like, you've gotta know that the law of attraction always works, and that the universe is literal. Like it's literal. And the second step is that it has to do with your vision. So the third step, and this is really key, it is all about your story and about your life story, about what you've manifested and so far in your life, what you've agreed to be true. And it's really just important for you to really be connected with that and know how to shift some of the elements of your story. So for those of you who stay until the end, I'm going to be sharing with you something that's going to help you really powerfully start releasing any elements of your story that could be getting in the way of meeting your man. So just make sure that you stay until the end so that you get that. And here's what it is. We all have different stories. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different experiences with our parents. We all have different experiences dating. Like we all have different experiences, but at the same time, we kind of go through the same, like maybe in different orders, you know, whatever, like, or even just receiving the energy of a certain thing that we don't necessarily want. And that is important to acknowledge, because sometimes we ask ourselves, like, how is it that that woman manifests? Like, she's manifesting like man after man after man after man, man after man. And like, I am here like in limbo land, you know, like, where is my man? And you ask yourself that question, or you might have that sort of conversation going on. But the thing is, she has her own story. And here's the thing. Well, 2 people might have gone through the same thing, maybe parents getting divorced or something like that. They might have interpreted, or they have created a perception that's a little bit different from each other. And then one person creates one reality, and then the person creates another reality. What's more important here is the perception that you've taken from the experiences that you've seen in your life, whether it was between your parents, between like couples, in your relationships. Your experiences matter. They matter. And like the energy that you took in, whether you were very good at like handling your feelings, processing them, releasing them, or if you learn how to like shove them down or feel guilt, or all of that really matters. And it's really important for you to really get clean and clear about your story, because your story is creating your life right now. And this is the most, I feel like this is like the step that we should always pay a lot of attention to if you are in the process of manifesting your man. And I find that this is where most people might think that if I just think positive, like I will meet my man. And yes, that can definitely happen. I am speaking into the woman that has already tried using the law of attraction, and then it didn't work for her because she was just thought be positive, and then like it didn't work out, and she might be questioning herself like, but why didn't it work out? And this is the piece. This is the piece that most people need to look at, because if we are not taught how to really release those feelings, those emotions, those stories, they kind of stay with us. And like I said at the beginning, we have 60,000 thoughts per day. 42,000 of those are repetitive and negative, meaning that we keep recycling the same beliefs over and over again, and they're playing in the back of our mind, and then we wonder, why is it that I'm not getting what I want? So if you have like an energetic charge of something that you've kept with you for years, right? And then you're bringing in the seed of like a different positive story, and if you just do it for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, It could shift, but it really has to do with how much are you willing and ready to release the stories. Because if you bring up this piece of energy over here and you're not willing to release it, right? It's like you're trying to bring this stuff of like, yes, men are gonna like meet me and want me and everything, but one man doesn't look at you the way that you want him to, and you're like, see, I was right, and you drop it. You weren't willing to release it. You've got to really give yourself that opportunity to go and walk inside of the unknown and change the narrative that you have around why a man is not looking at you. It cannot be a reinforcement of the previous beliefs. You actually got to allow this belief over here to grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you've got to learn how to release what's on the other side. So this is where, for example, when I work with my clients, like this is like the big like depth of the work that I do with them, because everybody is different. Certain people hold their beliefs like in their mind. Certain people hold them in their body. Like you have like cellular memory, and based on the law of attraction, all of that attracts. We all have like a field of influence and of energy that people can read. People can really read this. And I've shared the example before of like, you know, when you go into a house, right? And like the house, there's something off about the energy of the house, and you would just rather go out and hang out somewhere else, right? Like certain houses just feel better than others. So just as you have that quick initial response to a place, like when you go inside of a place, we are constantly having that energy like in our ideas, because like not like in our fields, in our interactions, because that's what's going on. It's unspoken, but it's felt. If you're not open for love, or if you kind of are, but then you have this big ball of resistance, what a man might get in his immediate interaction with you is that she's not ready for love, or she cannot really see me, right? And then he moves and he leaves. And if you have a bigger resonance to men that are emotionally unavailable or not ready, you see how that energy, even though you might be resisting it, but you have it because of the, backlog of stories, might attract an unavailable man. And if you're not aware of this knowledge, of this principle, you might say, hey, maybe love isn't for me. But that's not the case. That's not the case. The universe is actually helping you and saying, hey, we want you to look at this because we are on your team. And they bring up all these situations for you to see it, for you to actually clear it, for you to release it, because like they're telling you, you have a lot of energy here, and whatever's dominant in your energy, you attract. And this is important because a lot of people don't want to admit this. A lot of people don't. Do you know that one of the most common things that I work with my clients is I have clients who sign up to work with me, and we're 4 months inside of the work or less. And the big thing that actually comes up for us, digging in and looking at the beliefs, the backlog of stories, is that the big part of them doesn't want to be in a relationship because they've been hurt. They've created all this resistance around it. And once that energy is pulled out of them, it's like whoosh, like the man comes in. We have unconscious stories and beliefs that are underneath the surface. But the thing is that whatever is unconscious actually has a big energy around it. So that's why it's important for you to take the time to look at your story. If there were moments in time in your story where you didn't want to be in a relationship, did you really release that energy out of your being? What is your reality telling you right now? Because the reality is a reflection of the internal. Once your dominant vibration is one that aligns with you being in your man, being courted and being desired and everything, you will see that. And you will see it more often. If you see a little bit of it or the opposite and you go like this, you understand that your energy is confused because it has different agendas, different like cross purposes. But it's because you are hosting those ideas. It's not because the universe is trying to confuse you. It's just showing you like, okay, we want you to choose something. Like we will give you whatever you want, but you've got to choose. You've got to choose. The universe is not against you having love. You've got to choose. And if you are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, however old you are, you can see how during your life you've been building up all these cross purposes, all these different agendas. And it is important for you to choose like your lane and look at the beliefs. So this is really important because I feel like this is the depth of the work where people get confused with the law of attraction. Sometimes it can work through positive affirmations, right? It just really has to do with how much a person is willing to release their beliefs. It depends also on what they went through, like if they had like shocks or traumas or like emotions that they didn't process. And then like if you carry it with you, it creates like this weight, and you like, have it like in your body or in or around you. And that's why it's important for you to actually fully release it. Some of the work that I do and that I invite you to like really explore is energy clearing. What energy clearing is removing those beliefs out of your mind, out of a cellular memory, anything that keeps you attracting the same energy, because it creates a pattern. Did you know that the body can get used to emotions that it doesn't really want to feel? Like, so if you went through a lot of pain, and then in your mind, you're always repeating, like, I can't believe that this person did this to me. I can't believe that all men are liars. And I can't believe this and this and this and this. It can become addicted to being right about an idea. And that moves me into the next step. The fourth step really has to do with, you've got to release it. You've got to be willing to release your story. The body can become addicted with an idea. It can become addicted to suffering, to being confused, to being in I don't know space, or kind of being in between worlds. How many of you heard that, as feminine beings, we can stay, like if we are like in an experience of something, like if you're excited about something, we can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about whatever we loved, right? But at the same time, if we don't like what happened, we can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about the pain, right, that happened. So do you see what I'm sharing with you here? This is really key, and this is really important, because if you ask me, that's part of like the disempowered version of the feminine that wasn't taught how to feel her feelings fully, and she gets stuck in an idea. But like the empowered feminine actually knows that she's a queen, that she's worthy and deserving, and she easily knows how to let go and surrender and release the thoughts, the feelings, the hurt that doesn't serve her. And it's really important for us to do it. Like your mind might be going like, man, like this woman is nuts, or she's crazy right now, or like, what is she saying that I'm not supposed to like feel like all my feelings? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, in the moment of truth, what I've seen with a lot of my clients is that when they're faced with really releasing the belief of like, oh, men are gonna hurt me and all those different things, they kind of have like a little bit of a shock. Because it's like, who would I be without that idea if I've known it all of my life? And embracing that unknown and releasing that like maybe chemical addiction in the body and the being, because you've identified yourself with that belief for so long, it can feel kind of like empty for a second and be like, wow, like this is new territory. You've got to know what you're dealing with, because also the mind doesn't like the unknown. So it's really important, and I'm just being very honest with you about the work that is required and what that change looks like. I've spoken this with a lot of people, and they're like, in the moment of truth when we were doing the clearing, they're like, whoa, I kind of don't want to release it, because it's like my whole life will be different, right? And You just gotta be willing to release it. Release the pain, release the need to be right about your hurt, about your past. Because what's waiting for you is bigger. You just gotta focus your energy on attracting more of that and releasing the energy that's creating the confusion in what you are attracting when it comes to love and meeting your man. You've got to be willing to release it. So there's many ways in which you can release it. There's mind work, there's body work, there's energy work. Like, I do a mix of all of them because I really like to look at all the angles. This is where, for me, like the heavy lifting work is, because we all have our stories, and you've got to be willing to create a new reality for yourself time and time and time again. It's about taking a leap of faith in yourself, a leap of faith in your life. When I speak about like my client Claudia, which brings me to the fifth step with the fourth step, I'm sorry, is she had this belief that men wouldn't want her, that she wasn't attractive. And she had stories to prove it. She went on a dating site, like no man said hi to her in over a year on a dating site. And I understand that may seem hard to believe. And the truth is, she created that because she was holding on so fiercely to the belief that she wasn't attractive and a bunch of other different beliefs that when men looked at her and there was time to swipe right or not, there was something off about her energy that they were like, nope. Because men can feel energy. Men can feel your internal confusion. The man that's actually ready for love can feel that. I feel like she's not ready, or she's vibrating like, let's say, like, I'm not good enough, or you might not want me. And for some reason, whatever it is that you're choosing to think, main energy here, you attract. And what's like, Claudia's gorgeous. Like, she's a sunshine. And I really do believe that every woman is absolutely gorgeous. And that has to do with you stepping into your power and knowing your worth, no matter what people tell you. I mean, I used to be like, I remember when I was in high school, like, guys would vote for me being like one of the most like ugly girls. Just because I was vibrating weird energy, right? Like, no harm done. Like, I'm good and I'm here and I know that I'm amazing. But it's like, when you vibrate weird energy, you get weird stuff, right? Like, you gotta really love yourself. And as soon as she like really allowed herself to be like, you know what, like, let's do this, let's work together. She said, you know, I'm gonna do this because like, I can't afford to believe this. And thank God she did. You know, like 3 or 4 months later, she met her man and she's super happy with him now. And he's like even better than anything that she could have ever, you know, thought of. And so have, you know, like my other clients who've met their man, who are engaged or getting married, like, or, you know, it's, you've got to be willing, and it can be scary. It's like moving into the unknown. And we all know that as feminine beings, what we seek most is safety. And that's why we can stay in the energy of safety of whatever the mind says, like, hey, stay here, it's safe, it's familiar. These are the beliefs that are normal to you. But you gotta know that your mind only wants you to survive. It doesn't want you to thrive. Does that resonate? Like, you gotta be bold. You've gotta be courageous. When I decided to cut off my hair, like, I had a little bit of a moment of anxiety. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'm about to cut off all of my hair. People think I'm crazy. Am I crazy? Like, I remember not being able to sleep, and just like, it was, I mean, it's like I was like in the middle of the desert making the most important decision of my life. But in those moments, which leads me to that next step, is that you've got to learn, and you must love change, even if it's scary, because it's one of like the interesting things about feminine energy. It's like we want to stay safe. Like it's whatever feels safe. But you got to know that you are the one that creates that safety as you move into that change, as you grow, like you take that next step. And one of the elements that I see also that supports you in taking that change is having a community of women who support you. Having somebody to be there with you makes things less scary. Somebody that has been on your path and they're like, hey, it's safe over here. And then it feels safe for you to cross over. And that's important. Like, how much do you love change? The first time somebody asked me on a scale of 1 to 10, and we can all do this right now, I want you to trust the first answer that comes up within the first few seconds. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love change? The answer must already come up. And I would love to hear from you. Like, can you please share with me what was the number that came up for you? Okay, Charlene got 5, great. Who else would like to share? You're unmuted, so you can talk. Like, what number did you get?
I wonder why. She used to be so good at it.
Anybody would like to share? Okay, Rochelle got a 5.
This is Janet. I'd say I'm about an 8. I just don't hate it.
24 hours to make me shit.
I embrace it.
Okay, you embrace it, Janet. That's awesome. Thank you. Anybody else? All right, so let's mute. All right, so anybody else would like to share? Because this is a really powerful exercise. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like change? All right, so let's see here. So some of you shared 5, and that's half and half, right? The first time, do you want to know what was the number that came up for me? When somebody asked me that question, I heard 1. Like, that's the number I heard, 1 out of 10. Because I had gone through a lot of traumatic experiences in my life where whenever I embraced change, something like broke, like in my life, like horrible things happened. So I love how Janet was saying, like, you know, I'm an 8, I embrace it. Yes, that's the energy. You gotta embrace change because change is who you are. You're always changing. Right, so notice how Rochelle said 1 initially too. Yeah, high five, high five. I'm glad that I found somebody that was just like me. The thing is that it is important. It is really important for you to be aware of this, because if a part of you is like, I don't like change, how do you actually allow life to change in a positive way? What kind of belief systems do you have around change? Now you see why it's important for you to clear the beliefs that you have around change. It's why, like, the work that we do is like, it's so powerful because it lifts it up. And as soon as it lifts it up, it's not linear. Like, you immediately attract shifts, like men, everything starts showing up because it's not linear. Whenever we have a resistance to change, right, and we keep things at a logical level, we kind of slow things down in the process. And I found that the ego does this a little bit to slow down momentum, right, to keep you a little bit confused. I like to, like, trick the ego and, like, bypass it, you know, and inspire it and just, like, woof, like, out of nowhere, here it is, and this is where it's staying, right? Because I know that if I just keep at it sometimes this way, in a way I'm hurting myself because I'm keeping up with the feelings of the highs and the lows and the questioning and everything. I just want to live in certainty. Certainty that I have power to create whatever it is that I want, you know, and I get to live in that. I get to feel good about myself. So that's the most important piece that I want you to get in this aspect. Like, you've got to love change. You've got to allow it. There's parts of you that want to stay the same. There's parts of you, like, you've got to really bring that energy and make it like flow for you, make it work for you. And be really honest with yourself. You've got to take it. When Claudia said, I'm going to do it, she was like, I'm going to do this because if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. She knew that there was an internal battle between her mind and her heart and everything. And she was like, I'm done. I'm going to jump. And in that moment, she jumped and we worked together and it all aligned itself. So that's the beauty of having support in your life. Don't try to and it's important for you to really work this with people that understand you and people who support your vision, people who are not going to be bathing or trying to bathe you in their own insecurities or their own limitations. It's about having compassion for them, but not really listen to any naysayers. It's about creating a clean and clear space for you. So does that resonate? Because I feel like this is really important. I want to know if you can share with me in the chat box if it resonates. So the next step that I want to address here, that it's really important when it comes to manifesting love, attracting your man and everything, is the way that you're looking at life. You've got to see everything as support. Everything is supporting you. The biggest piece that I see that when people confuse themselves and when it comes to the law of attraction and manifesting it is that they can kind of try to fight life. They fight life. They try to fight the universe. They feel betrayed by the universe if something doesn't work out, or they think that the universe is giving them signs that maybe love isn't for them. Honestly, if it's a true heart deep desire and that you want love in your life, it is for you. It is for you. The universe wants to give that to you for sure. No doubt about it. What I actually see happening is that if it's an ego-based desire, if you're wanting to have a man in your life to prove your worth, then it doesn't really support it. It needs to be heart-based desire. So when you doubt the universe, or you think that whatever, you attracted a man that cheated on you or something, and you're thinking, oh, maybe that's a sign that I'm not meant to have love. No, that's not true. You've got to really take in that the universe is giving you and showing you whatever is in your field of energy so that you can actually heal it. That way, the universe is always on your side and it's always supporting you. Because the moment in which we judge whatever happens in a negative way, we get frustrated, it's like the fear-based mind, the ego and everything, and we are actually making it harder. In fact, it can be so easy when you just really feel into yourself, and it's if I met a man who cheated, or I met an unavailable man, or it's not for some reason it's not happening, it's because the universe loves me so much that it's sharing with me the actual belief that I have. So if you see that the universe is supporting you, you are more open to receive, because when you're grateful, you're appreciative of everything that happens, you're more open to receive. Whenever you cut your flow, whenever you are judging it, getting frustrated, believing that somebody or something is against you, all of that really gets in the way. It really does. And let's see if I can change this. That's really important, because that is one of the fastest ways in which you can actually receive. Seeing everything as support. Stop having that conversation of maybe love is for me, maybe it's not. And just give yourself the opportunity to go and take that leap. It's kind of like if you were, I always say this, we don't want to create or put that into the universe, but I'm just going to use this example. If for some reason you were homeless and you had a kid, right? And you had to figure out how to get food for the baby. You would actually figure it out. You would actually really figure it out. You would take the lesson and you would go and figure it out. You would put your ego aside. You would ask for whatever, it's a lesson. It's a lesson and you figure it out. And what I see that happens is that a lot of people, when it's about their love life, it's they kind of give their power away. If you had to get a job, you would figure out how to get a job. you take the lesson, you're grateful for it. It's the same thing when it comes to your love life. It's the same energy in which things are made of. You don't question it, you don't doubt it. You get to have food on your table. It's the same thing. You get to have love. Love is a basic need. What happens is that our mind and our hearts and our emotions get in the way because we're not taught how to really fully process it, and we are all doing it like in a way that's just like going through the motions. And it's important for you to really be in that space of, I'm going to be grateful no matter what. I'm going to like have innate trust no matter what. Now, I know that that can be like easier said than done. And that's why it's important to really give yourself that space of support, have a community of people around you, have a coach, like really give yourself that space, because that's a really key thing that you are giving yourself. It's a gift that you're giving to yourself. You're willing to change your whole life around, and you're willing to let go of any word where you believe that you need to be realistic. This is not about being realistic. This is about claiming your birthright. And the joy and the happiness that is available once you are inside of that relationship. And it's about loving yourself so much that you're willing to do that. Does that resonate? You've got to see everything as support. Everything is supporting you. Being on this call is support. Like reading all these stuff online is support. Like meeting a guy on the street and him not like noticing you is support. Like meeting feeling overwhelmed about like whether you should like do online dating or not is like support. Everything is support. That is innate trust. When you're trusting and you're grateful, you manifest in a quicker way. Hopefully that resonates. And the last piece, before, remember that I'm going to be sharing with you like a really powerful gift that I have for you that's going to help you really start really be in that process of embodying basically the next step, which is you've got to know that you're worthy to receive. You've got to know that you're really worthy to receive and create the space of long-lasting love. Like you've got to know it. You cannot look for signs to prove that you're worth it. You cannot look for signs of men noticing you or choosing you to prove that you're worth it, because all of that, it doesn't last. If you base your worth on whether a man notices you or not, the moment that he doesn't look at you anymore, you question it, you see how you get unbalanced. Your worth has nothing to do with men, with your weight, with your work, with your titles, and anything like that. It is about loving your essence, loving who you really are, loving how beautiful and amazing you are. It is about that, loving who you are, not just what you've achieved or what men think about you. It's about loving who you are. And once you know that you're worthy, this is like the key element that seals the whole deal, where whenever you're having all those feelings and resistance to change and everything, and you're looking deeply into your story, you're willing to clear, and it gets scary, it's like you gotta love yourself enough to take that leap and receive your man, create the picture that you want to see, whether that is having a lot of men showing up and courting you and desiring you and wanting you. You get to be in that abundant energy where you know that you are worth it, no matter what. Does that resonate? Hopefully it does, because worthiness is like one of the most important pieces of this. I heard somebody say this once: we don't get what we want, we get what we think or believe we deserve. So just shake off all the stories and all the different things that you've used to not make, to believe that you're not good enough, to believe that you're not worthy. Like, you've got to really allow yourself to change that. Hopefully that resonates. You've got to know that you're worth it. Because what happens sometimes is that a person might attract their man, but then they have it in their field, they have it in their reality, it doesn't feel like normal, and they might try to sabotage it. because it doesn't feel right, because a part of them doesn't feel completely worthy of that. And you would be surprised. You will be surprised. It's important for you to feel worthy, because whatever you feel worthy of, you keep. You allow yourself to keep it. You don't fight it. You don't resist it. You keep it. That receiving energy is actually stable. So I want you to really see this and take this in for yourself, because you deserve to have love. Like I shared in the email, like I grew up with a bunch of women around me, like from my age, older, like who cares? It's like, I remember being like an incredibly sensitive kid, like all the love emanating from all the women that were around me. It was like, it was overwhelming. An incredible capacity to love, to give, to share. And I would think and feel into how all of these women around me were having conversations where they were being met by men who couldn't really see them. And I could see sometimes like resentment and everything build up and how they felt alone or abandoned. And I was like, no. It doesn't get to be that way. Like all women really deserve to be loved. I don't care your background. Like I don't care everything. Like you deserve to be loved. You deserve to release the beliefs that you've created where you feel like you might need to compete with other women. And feel like you need to compete for a man's attention, or release the beliefs that don't support you, that don't make you happy, that men in your country or your city are not going to like you or want you or choose you. You got to release it. In my years as a love coach, I've spoken with hundreds of women who tell me that like they don't think that they will be met by a man, or they're meeting men who are just not ready, and all those different things. And there's an element here. Every single one of them has created or made something very real in their life. And it's not working for them. So you get to be bold enough and take that leap to make your life work for you. And it all starts with self-love. Knowing that you're worthy, because when you know that you're worthy, you receive, and you receive well. That's why I shared, at the beginning of the training, that you've gotta willingly choose your life over and over again, and take the leap over and over and over and over again. Be the person who chooses you, like first, like I did, over and over and over again, and be willing to let go of the stories that don't support it. So hopefully this made sense. To really recap, like the 6 steps are clear. It's like the law of attraction is always at work, like always at work. You've got to really know that the universe is literal. Like whatever you throw out, whatever you believe, all your confusions, everything, it's literal. You've got to make a choice. The second step is that you got to know that it starts with your vision. How wild, how big, how juicy are you allowing your desire to be? And what are like the little blocks that you're trying to make realistic that are actually getting in the way? What are the stories that you are attaching to your vision that kind of dim a little bit? Do you believe that love is takes hard work? Do you believe that marriage is hard work? Do you believe that couples have to fight or work hard at staying together? None of those have to be 100% true. Only what you choose. And when you choose to live that extraordinary life, extraordinary vision, like attracts like, you meet a man just like that. And the deeper work really starts at the third step, which is really knowing your story. What does your story say? What are the beliefs that you have about love that are unique to you? and really learning how to release it so that you don't have a big pull of energy that's interfering with the one that you're creating right now. It's about releasing it, making it like more compacted. And I want to clarify, you don't need to release all of your beliefs before you meet your man. No, you just want to make this other one bigger. Like the positive one, you want to make it bigger. And you can continue to release it for good because you want to be free of that. But it's like your man doesn't need to show up once you've cleared all of it. Just got to make this one bigger and learn how to release this, because this has a lot of charge, a lot of energy, a lot of stories that you're holding on to. And being willing to let go of the story and not just stay in that experience. The next step is really being willing to release it, learning how to release it, being bold enough to release it. And this is one of the most important pieces of the puzzle, being willing to let go of those patterns. It's really key. It's really key. Once you release it, you create more space for something new. Once you're conflicted and you have all these hidden agendas in the back of your mind and your subconscious, which actually have a lot of power, then you add up to a story where like you are kind of making it, not making it. You gotta be willing to release it. Then you've gotta love change. That's the next step. You've gotta really must love change and embrace change. Not keep yourself in the middle with it, because who you are is change. Who you are by nature, by law, is change. It's like you're fighting yourself when you don't like change. It doesn't feel good to live in resistance. When you love change, you're living in flow. You're receiving with so much grace. Life is incredibly fun, right? You have innate trust, and you attract the man that really loves to give. Like that resistance that is within, it gets to be released, because the more you love to receive, the more you love life, the more you make life a good place for you to just be and really show who you really are. The more you get what you want in life, the more you attract the man that wants to pamper you and all those different things. You got to learn how to love to really receive and be in that energy of change. And then you got to see everything as support. The universe is always supporting you. If something goes haywire or anything like that, it's because the universe is telling you, hey, you haven't fully released this yet. And it's about doing the deeper work that sometimes goes beyond the mind, that's in the body, that's in the energy, in shifting that deliberately so that you attract more of what you want. And then last piece is that you got to really know that you're worth it. You've got to know that you're worth it. Because when you know that you're worth it, you allow yourself to receive. And you allow yourself to receive well, you allow yourself to keep it, really keep your manifestation. So hopefully this makes sense. I'm going to be sharing with you in the next minutes a gift that I have for you to really help you in that process of really releasing that old stuff. And I hope that this training has been incredibly valuable for you. And I also wanted to invite you to set up a call with me, because I am offering a Freedom to Shine intensive experience with me, where you and I meet over a weekend and we release that part where I was sharing about the story and learning how to release it, releasing the charge that's in the way of you being in flow and meeting your man. This is the deep work, the part of it that's the most important, that part that I feel like most people miss when it comes to dating and manifestation and attracting their man, because it's like a back level of energy that is showing up in your life. And what I do is that I help you identify your blind spots, the potential stories that are behind the scenes that you may not even notice that are going on around you, and really helping you shift and release that. So in that Freedom to Shine experience, you and I work privately together, where I really sit with you for over a weekend of coaching and a month of extended service and coaching experience with me, where I help you release all of that and attract your man. Ladies, how soon do you believe that you can attract your man? How soon? Your man can show up within the next couple of days, within the next couple of months, if you're willing to take those leaps. Willing to trust, because that committed mind and heart attracts this like always attracts like. When you are that committed to yourself, you attract the man that's that committed to yourself. Hopefully you can really receive this. So in the Freedom to Shine experience, that's where I'm going to be coaching you, helping you with the different modalities that I know in energy clearing to specifically and deliberately change the energy, release the energy that's there, that's in the way, and helping you truly shine. That's why it's called Freedom to Shine. You are not tied to your stories, to your realities, just like Claudia did, just like a bunch of my other clients have done in the past. Once they were willing to release their stories, they met their partner like within the next, actually Claudia manifested her partner once we released those stories like a couple weeks later. And several of my clients manifested their partners that way too. Once you release the energy of the story, the man shows up because there's no more charge. It's like, he was like waiting for you. So hopefully this lands. I'm going to post a link right now for you to set up a time, and it's a free assessment for you to talk with me if you're interested in doing the Freedom to Shine experience. And this is a free assessment where I'm just going to help you. I'm going to look at your energy, and I'm going to help you to know what your blind spots are. All right. And that's going to help you know, and we can discuss like and talk about like if you feel like the Freedom to Shine experience is for you. And yeah, that's basically it. Like I just want you to have a very clean and conversation with me where I support you and we see how much of a shift you can really make with this experience. If it's not a fit for you, then I can recommend another person. I just want to get to know you. I want to know more about your story. I want to relate with you and really help you, because I just want to help as much as women possible meet their man, be happy, like be in relationship, because you deserve it. You really deserve it. And it can be this easy. It's not about it being linear. It's not about thinking like, because this has taken me years to achieve or, to accumulate means that it's going to take me years to receive. No, that's a linear way of thinking. Once you release the energy, it's like whoosh, like it's not linear thinking. It's not based by time because you've released all of that charge. So once you're there, then you allow yourself to be loved and cherished for who you really are. No worries, not having to like watch your back, like all those survival stories that you have around men or love. None of that needs to be true. You can really start fresh and really feel comfortable and confident in who you are as a woman and what you attract and your power to attract all of the right things that are good for you. So in the chat box, I have posted the link for you to set up the time to coach with me privately. It's a free assessment, like I said. And for those of you who are on the phone and who would really liked it, please email me at Nicole@NicoleElissa.com. And that's NicoleElliss.com. So it's Nicole@NicoleElissa.com. So for those of you who are still here and who want the free gift that I have for you to help you, I wanted to share with you I have a free gift, which is it's a energy clearing session that I did to help you meet, really clear the self-worth piece and really start to lift any energy that you have around the self-worth so that you're way more open to receive, right? And you will find in this clearing a lot of phrases and situations that you might find relevant or that you might identify with that could really help you shift. This is really powerful work. For those of you who haven't really done energy clearing experience, I invite you to look at it because it will help you. It will really help you. You will see it for yourself, and just let me know how you like it. So for those of you who are here, I love to create this space if you are open for some free coaching. This is the link for the gift that's on the chat box right now. And I'd love to coach you. Like if I have a couple minutes left, and if you have any questions about the law of attraction, if you found this training to be helpful please let me know. I love to know what you are getting from it. And yeah, because I believe that a lot of things shifted today. So I'd love to connect with you. I can unmute you. I don't know who would like to receive coaching right now, but yeah, that would be great. Does anybody want to receive coaching right now?
Now, but at another.
Wait, somebody.
Yeah, Nicole, this is Janet. I just emailed you. I'd be interested in talking another time, but not right now.
Right. So no, the conversation is not it's not now. Like there's options and dates there available.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
do you see the link?
No, I'm on a phone call. I just emailed you though.
Okay. Okay. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Did you find it to be valuable, the training?
Oh, yes.
I'm glad.
I've done some blocks I need to work on.
All right. So was there anything in particular that you liked or that resonated the most for you, or that brought an aha moment for you?
It was, now I can't remember what it is. Oh gosh. I guess it's just thinking that the guy that I'm attracted to is not attracted to me. That's a big aha.
Yeah, that's good. I'm happy that you connected with it. We see, like you're seeing here how we create our reality. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Would anybody else like to share? Like, or would you like, wait, you said that you don't want coaching right now or anything like that. So would anybody else like to share or ask a question? Or share what you found the most valuable? All right, so if you don't want to share, that's all okay. I hope that this training was really valuable for you. There's a lot of gems in it, and I'll be posting I was sharing with the audience like the replay so that you can really listen to it and see the value in it. For those of you who are considering the call, I invite you to take it. The Freedom to Shine experience is incredible because you can really change your life in an instant. And I've just seen it happen so many different times. And I feel that this is very revolutionary, you know, like knowing that you can easily change your life like this in a second. And it's all available for you by really being willing to let go of the story and the attachment to the pain or to the insecurity or the confusion. And you can really have it. You just gotta be committed to yourself. And that commitment to yourself, your whole world changes. So thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I send you all the love in the world. And my hope, like my sincere hope is that this has made a difference for you. And yeah, let's talk soon. Okay? Bye.
Bye.